Are you ready?
Yes.
You ready, Earl? And welcome to church. My name is Dana Michelle, and you are tuned into Dana Being Dana on Intellectual Radio and iHeart Radio Station. Welcome to the Thanksgiving show. And you know, when I was thinking about the type of show that I wanted to do for Thanksgiving, I thought about so many things that I'm thankful for. And I will get into more of that next week, but one of the things that it's very important to me that I'm thankful for is a little church in Glencoe. And it's where I got my Christian roots. I grew up with my family. My cousin Rocky is here. And just so many friends of mine who became family over the years. These are the children of my parents. And we all went to a church in Glencoe called St. Paul AME. And we are here in our youth choir attire. Everybody knows about the youth choir attire, which is a white top and black bottoms. And the youth choir rehearsal is in session tonight. We are here for the Thanksgiving show. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Happy Thanksgiving. We have a lot to be thankful for and grateful for. So without further ado, please introduce yourself. Tell us your name, where you're from, and what you do.
Hello, I am Rocky Hunter. Formerly, when I was at St. Paul, I was Rocky Big Pen. I currently live in Highland Park, but I actually grew up in Glencoe, so my roots in Glencoe run very deep. I literally walked to church most of my life. And I currently am a marketing executive at an internet company called Zorro.com.
Hi, I am Denise Johnson. I live in Chicago currently. I grew up in Buffalo Grove and Long Grove, which was about, 25 miles from St. Paul AME in Glencoe. And I have worked in the insurance industry for about 12 years. I'm currently making a transition, so more to come on that, and there might be another show.
Yes.
Which camera am I on?
Any camera, just look at him. Just smile for the camera.
I'm Marcus Rice, also a child of St. Paul AME African Methodist Episcopal Church. Grew up in Vernon Hills and Hawthorne Woods, Illinois. I am thankfully back out in the beloved suburbs. I live in Highland Park now. I'm a former trial attorney. Now I work in academia at the John Marshall Law School.
I am Ashley Weathers, formerly Ashley Palmer. I grew up in Lake Bluff, about 15-20 minutes from the church. And I did grow up in St. Paul as well. I'm currently a supervising tax accountant at Wardy and Davis in Deerfield. And yeah, that's it.
Hello everybody, my name is Carla Laveau Hawkins, and I grew up in Deerfield, Illinois, went to the St. Paul AME, and I currently am a life coach and the owner of Women of Faith Stand United Ministries.
I'm Tim Green, also from Glencoe. Grew up on the opposite side of Glencoe from the church, but not too far, within walking distance. Currently, I work at Northwestern Hospital in the emergency department. I do aftercare planning for patients and get them scheduled with the proper specialists that they need going forward after their care. So.
All good stuff. So I was so excited about this show, and when I started to reach out to people on Facebook from the St. Paul family, I realized I had almost 100 people from St. Paul who are connected on Facebook, and this is a great opportunity for us to reconnect because I'm so thankful for our friendships, and we're going to talk about what makes St. Paul so special and some of our favorite memories. And one of the things we're going to do is play the St. Paul Mystery Callers game. Woo! So this is a surprise to my panel. They actually don't know who will be calling in, who we're going to be talking to. We're going to be playing a guessing game. So you're going to be thinking about all the people from St. Paul And to help me out with the first one, we're going to call the first caller, as all the other callers will be calling in.
I'm envisioning This Is Your Life.
I know,
It's
right?
going to be so exciting. And so we will be talking to all of our mystery callers who will be calling in today. We'll be guessing who they are. Stay tuned.
Quick buzzers or?
Yeah, right.
I sure hope they answer.
Right. I know, right?
Hello. Is this St. Paul mystery caller number 1?
Mystery caller number 1 is here.
All right.
I know who that is. Can I say it?
Tell us your first clue.
My first clue is we moved to Chicago from Atlanta in 1984, and we were there, and we left it again in 1987.
84 to 87.
I totally thought I knew.
Does anybody want to make a guess? Feel free to chime in on Facebook. If you know the answer, if you went to St. Paul or if you can spell St. Paul, please hit your share button on the video. Share the video so we can all participate. Does anybody have a guess?
Did you come back to the St. Paul area after 87 any other time?
No. After 87, we moved to New Jersey, and then we moved back to Atlanta.
How about clue number 2? Here we
Clue
go.
number 2 is we have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls.
2 boys and 2 girls.
One of the girls is a namesake of your host.
Oh, Mr. White.
No.
No?
Yes, it's Charles Edwards.
Ding, 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 ding. One for Denise. Charles Edwards is on the phone, everybody.
Wow!
Yes.
You guys are great. I tell you, I'm just so happy to be here. I know you don't have a lot of time. You got a lot of other mystery callers to call in. But I know that you're there to honor St. Paul, and I want to share my favorite memories of St. Paul. One is the great St. Paul Flight, directed by Reggie, teenage director.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then of course the powerful sermons of Reverend Deborah, and the last one is just all St. Paul had just a plethora of talented youth. Those are my memories of St. Paul.
Thank you so much, Padre. I love you.
Have a great show, guys. And a blessed Thanksgiving. Love you guys too.
You
Bye-bye.
Love you too. Dana being Dana.
Hello, Dana being Dana.
Well, hello, mystery caller number 2. How are you doing?
Is that an unfair
I'm doing
advantage?
great.
That's my sister.
Right.
Fantastic.
You're like, I don't need any clues.
St. Paul mystery caller number 2. Would you like to give us your first clue?
I have a sister.
Who's that?
Just one.
How many sisters do you
Right.
have?
I have one sister.
One sister. And where are you calling from, mystery caller?
I am calling from Manhattan.
Manhattan, New York City. It is not Carla's sister.
My sister.
But we love them. That Noelle and Christine, thank you so much for sharing and saying hello. Does anybody want to make a guess?
2 fellow Spelman girls might be at.
Two-
Noelle and Christine.
Noelle and Christine, Carla's sisters, both went to Spelman, just like Rocky and I. Does anybody want to make a guess? From Manhattan. Woo! Mystery caller number 2, would you like to give us another clue?
I'm trying to give one that won't give me away too easily.
Well, is that Tiffany? First and last name? The guess was Tiffany Harris.
I used to direct the youth
Is it
choir.
Terry?
Terry Harris!
Gave it away.
Yes! How are you, Terry? Can you please tell us what you're up to, what you've been doing?
Well, I am doing well. I live in New York City. Well, I live in Jersey City. I work in Manhattan. I am a lawyer now. I'm married. I have a 6.5-year-old daughter. And I am just really loving life right now.
That is awesome. We got a little feedback coming in.
I love that the people on Facebook Live are like guessing.
Yeah,
they're
they're
guessing before we are. Right? So thanks for the clues. Keep helping us out because we're struggling over here.
We appreciate
The phone
it.
was all over it. I
Thank
should've
you
just
so
went with the phone.
much. So what is your earliest memory of St. Paul? For anybody?
Wow. You know, I would have to say Sunday school with your parents.
Yes, my parents were Sunday school teachers.
Yes, and that is one of my earliest memories is Sunday school.
Down in the basement.
And just learning. I now know every Black history fact there is to know. So I'm really good at Black history trivia because of your parents. They made sure that we knew our heritage and we knew where we came from, and that helped us to know where we wanted to go. And so I'm forever thankful for that, but I will never forget Sunday school.
I think that is so important. I think that's so true today.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else?
I was going to say Sunday school as well, but
Yeah.
and we were talking earlier. I remember, well, if you guys remember, but Mrs. Clark was superintendent of Sunday school, and I still to this day remember how we dismissed Sunday school. We always said, "It's all right to follow the crowd,
As long as the crowd is following Jesus." Or the other one was God is love, and because God is love, we ought to love one another.
That's absolutely right. So if you ever went to Sunday school, please share the show. We just want to share so much about St. Paul on Dana Being Dana and on intellectualradio.com. When did you first come to St. Paul? How old were you when your family joined the church?
I was -2 or 3. I was literally born there, so I've been a member of St. Paul my whole life and still go there since we moved back to the Chicago area. I go there. I run children's church. We have a new awesome pastor. So St. Paul has been a part of my life, like off and on since birth. So
I think I was around 5.
I remember Ashley with her
Yeah.
thick ponytail,
Yes.
running up and down the
I was
aisle.
loud, singing the angelic choir. Thought I could sing, had every solo, so it was fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what did I remember? It was basically probably down in Sunday school. We were in in that one class. I think we had it was before they redid it, and it was in that one class in the small one because we were young at the time when I joined, probably about 5, 6. And I think it was like under the stairwell. It was like it felt like a little closet there. It was like the 4 of us and Darren. Was it Darren and Cody?
Cody.
And yeah, so that was fun. It was one of those places. It was like my mom. She took us to the Baptist church in Evanston, and then to AME, and she's like, "Which one do you want to go to?" I was like, "Glencoe. That one's fun." I was like, "There's more kids there." And it was just like it was actually, it was like a church that I liked even as a kid. I look forward to going.
That's very true, though. So my parents went to Second Baptist in Evanston at the time, and I joined St. Paul before my parents because of all of our friends. And frankly, it was a little shorter than the Baptist church.
Yes.
right?
Yes, exactly.
But all of y'all were there, and I think shortly thereafter, my parents joined. But I joined first.
Yeah. They got tired of dropping you off
Right.
and being there longer. And then that is a big part, though, of I think growing up in the church even today is being there as you're young because it's a fun experience. It's a social thing. Like you don't even realize the valuable lessons and the leadership opportunities and just the growth and development that you're receiving because you're having so much fun. And St. Paul was always so much fun. That's really what I remember most is just some of my closest friends to this day I met at church, and we just have clicked and gotten along our whole lives. So it's awesome.
And you really didn't know that you were building lifelong friendships at the time, right?
Right.
We were just going to choir rehearsal on Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah.
Choir rehearsal was like a party. Like
Yeah.
it was like the meetup spot.
We're missing choir rehearsal?
Right.
Well, why?
Yeah. It was like that's
What's
what
wrong?
Well, we didn't have that was the Stone Ages. There were no cell phones.
Right.
There were no Instagram and Facebook. So you didn't know what people were doing until you physically saw them.
If you didn't go to choir rehearsal, you didn't know what you were singing
Yeah.
on Sunday. on Sunday.
Or the moves.
Or
the
the moves.
routine.
Because there were definitely some moves. So let's talk about that youth choir. We were all a part of that youth choir at one time. And what was your favorite song? What's the song you remember?
Oh my God, there's so many.
There's so many.
What's
Work it out.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
Up there.
Work it
Pass
out.
Me Nine.
Yeah.
That was a good.
Yeah.
I feel like anything by Kirk Franklin. I feel like we went through every one of Kirk Franklin's albums.
Yeah, see, I was gone.
See, that's,
I was in college. They were playing Kirk Franklin in the club, and I was so young. I heard Kirk
were
Franklin in a
singing
very
live.
different location.
Tim, your sister Jen was talking about Ezekiel saw the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Ezekiel and Marvelous.
Yes.
Marvelous.
Yes. Yes. There's so many.
Oh, and didn't we do Shabbat and we did all the dance moves?
Yes. Yes. We were talking about that today, Terry.
Yes.
I wish I remembered the song and the dance moves, man. That'd be fun.
The dancers.
We had tapes though. We did used to film it. I don't know if you
Yeah.
have those tapes.
oh yeah, Tim and I, we were on the camera crew for a little while. You remember that?
Oh,
That
yeah.
camera crew?
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Tim and I got appointed to that because we were relatively delinquent.
Yeah, I was saying.
So you two were the whole AV ministry.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, find something for you two to do.
There was a season when he and I would leave church before we were officially dismissed.
Well, there's a 7-Eleven right
Yeah.
down the street. Let's go get a Slurpee, you know?
The AV ministry is here at St. Paul, from St. Paul today, ladies and gentlemen. Nicole Sampson, who is
Somebody
a-
wants a selection.
Nicole Sampson said, it's gonna
Oh,
rain.
yeah,
it's gonna rain.
That's what Nicole said. Yeah, remember that song?
Yes.
Don't let it be set too late.
Yep.
Y'all not gonna join in?
No.
Y'all just gonna join in?
I'll say like I say in the choir. I'll move my lips.
Better run in the ark before the rain starts.
That was the jam, but we used to kill it all the time. And just being a parent now and seeing what my kids get into and all that other kind of stuff, you hope that your kids have the same type of memories and the same type of connections from being in church.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't soccer, this isn't Girl Scouts, no shade to all those organizations. But just being in church and just being with a community of people.
And it's a safe space. Like you can be
Exactly.
yourself. I mean, you can. One of the nice things about St. Paul is like you can be in the choir whether you can sing or not. Like
Exactly.
after I left St. Paul, I didn't
Can't
realize
say
that you
that.
had to
Can't say.
Yeah.
try out for a choir. I was like tryouts.
Did anybody audition for St. Paul Choir?
No.
I showed up. Yeah.
You're right. Do
I
you
showed up
have
and stuck
a
me in the
pulse?
back, and I
You
just
can
like
do
moved
it.
my lips.
And that's all you had to do
Yeah.
was show up.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you showed up, you were in, and it was just that was just such a nice thing. I mean, there's so many different elements to St. Paul.
Yeah.
The Sunday school, different ministries, the choir, and all that, all the things that we did. Just by showing up, you immediately became part of that community.
I think it was really important for us too. I mean, we all lived in different suburbs, predominantly white suburbs. So it was also a place for us to come together and see, young people like us, which many of us didn't get most times. So
Thank you, Terry.
All right.
We appreciate you, girl.
Good time.
It sounds like we got another St. Paul mystery caller. Hold on. This is Dana being Dana.
Hey, what's going on, St. Paul family?
Woo! Hello. How you doing?
very white.
I know,
Right.
right?
Barry White did not go to our church. Mystery caller number 3. What is your first clue?
My first clue is I have one biological sister. My second clue is that I have a non-biological brother from another mother that I was always seen with. And my third clue is...
Who? Wait. Okay. Go say your third clue.
My third clue is that I moved away, my family moved away from the Chicago area in the early 90s.
Is that Gene?
Yep.
When you said a brother from another brother, I was like, that's got to be Al.
I said if he announced that it was Al. right. But yes, this is Gene Wheeler. Gene, tell us where you're calling from and what you're up to.
Okay, so I'm calling from Northern Virginia. I live just outside of the D.C. area. I live in Loudoun County, Virginia. I've been here for some time. I live here with my wife, Crystal, my lovely wife of 8+ years. We have a 7-year-old son by the name of Miles, a 3-year-old daughter by the name of Morgan. And I've been working for a variety of, in a consulting role and as working for various contractors, supporting Intel projects. Right now I lead cybersecurity efforts for some major Intel clients in Maryland and also Virginia. So primarily focusing on human capital strategies, recruiting, retention, HR-related activities in support of that.
Gene, thank you so much for calling in. Gene and I have stayed in touch. Of course, he's a family friend in the St. Paul family. Gene, can you tell us one of your favorite memories of St. Paul?
Oh man, where do I start? So many of them. I would say, from a family perspective, I would just say, just the thing that I really remember is the commitment. My sister and we actually started, I heard Denise say that she started going to St. Paul first. That was the same case with my sister and I. I think Kim was chasing a boy.
How you gonna put Kim out there?
We're talking about Kim.
Why you gotta give me?
Kim Wheeler.
The other thing was, it was, in terms of being in an environment in which it really fostered our spiritual growth as a family. Just having that commitment, going to church every Sunday, even to this day. I think I posted this years ago. Like, I hear the old St. Paul choir singing to me in the morning when I'm sitting trying to lay in bed, and I know I should be going to church. It's like, come on, get up out. Just being surrounded by greatness without any pretentious folks. We were surrounded by some great individuals, black excellence on all levels, and really feeling like you're a part of a church family. And folks encouraging you to grow. It was awesome. It was awesome. If you take a look at, just some of the folks that have come out from, that grew up in the 80s and 90s, take a look at some of those folks and you see what they're doing. It's a testament of how strong our community was coming up. And I love it. It's unlike any church experience I've ever had. And I'll never forget it forever.
I think that's true. I think the whole idea and the whole concept of black excellence, right? People talk about Cosby Show and a different world and that being the things of TV. And in many ways, I felt like we lived that, right? There were doctors at St. Paul. There were lawyers. There were business people. And what I think was so remarkable about how we grew up and being surrounded by all those people, teachers, professionals, homemakers, families, black families together, married people, multi-generation, cousins, family, friends, neighbors, and I don't mean neighbors who are like, I saw your husband. But I mean neighbors who are like, your child had dinner over here. And they're on their way home.
I saw your child where she wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I know she's supposed to be at that after-school program, but she was over at the park.
That's exactly right. I mean, the Glencoe community, the Presidential Row, all of that, it's a community of people who really showed up for each other and looked out for each other and paid attention to what other people's kids were doing. I didn't feel like I only was responsible to my parents. I felt like I could have been checked by anybody.
No, because you were checked.
You were checked by anybody and everybody. I mean, everybody in the church was your parent.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter, you got caught, everybody could give you that eye. And you immediately fell into formation. And that's what it was all about. And I just think not only are there lasting friendships among us, it wasn't hard to find all of you, and these are St. Paul people who are in the Chicagoland area, but they're St. Paul people all across the country.
Yeah.
And those are still bonds and ties that remain to this day. And just as close as we are and connected as we are, our parents are still close. Our parents are still in contact with each other. Rocky's parents just celebrated 50 years of marriage.
Amen.
And my Auntie Dolly and my Uncle Larry, and it was so nice because so many people got on planes.
Yeah.
And came in and flew in to be there and celebrate. And in many ways, not only for me was it a family celebration, but it was also a church celebration, which was great.
It was like a homecoming.
It was a homecoming in many different ways, and that's really what I think the essence of St. Paul is.
I think another really awesome thing about just the spirit of St. Paul and the family and the fellowship is that, like you said, there's people all across the country and wherever you are in the world, you still feel a connection, and especially with like Facebook, and you see what's going on in people's lives, and you mourn with them, and you cheer for them, and you encourage them, and even if you haven't spoken to them physically in, tens of years, you're still like, oh my God, like I'm hurting for you, or I am praying for you, and I am encouraging you. So I just think, that's beautiful. And there's been so many people that have now become pastors of their own church. Reverend Charles, who was running the children when I was a kid, he was the one doing children's church and getting on us in the choir. And you've got Miss Cross, who what was the song that Miss Cross used to sing? That she would,
Move.
Yeah, move mountains. I said, move.
If you have faith, the size of a mustard seed, that's all you need. Well, is that are we leaving?
Charles used to sing,
Is that another mystery caller? Well, thank you, Jean. We love you.
Bye, Jean.
Hold on. Dana being Dana. We can't hear you. Can you hear us?
I think she got us on speaker.
Are we on speakerphone? We can't be on speakerphone.
Either that or she called and put the phone down.
Hello?
Right. They're having a party.
Yeah, they were having a viewing
We'll call
party.
that.
Hello?
Get back to our party.
Right.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hello, now I can.
All right. Hello, mystery caller number 4. Can you say, repeat what you just said? I think I heard you though.
I was, technically challenged here, but I think I've got it now. This is Charmaine Miller.
How are you?
Hey.
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're good. Charmaine, you're a surprise mystery caller. I don't have Charmaine on my list, but it's so good to hear from you. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Nicole tagged me on Facebook.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right.
Nice.
Well,
Join in.
thank you so much for calling in. Can you tell us your favorite memory of St. Paul?
When you guys started talking about Aretha singing Moon Mountain.
Mountain.
Get out of my way.
Yes,
Between that and what was Charles's solo?
Though the storm in my life.
And remember the Christmas when the men would sing the Silent Night. You had Mr. Nicholson and Charles, like the whole crew
Yes.
sing Silent Night.
Right, that's exactly right.
In my mind.
You guys were talking about just how the relationship started at church, and for us, you'll remember my son Kareem. He's 28 years old
That's
now.
so funny. He was so little. He was such a little guy, and now he's 28.
And we do stay in touch. I don't know if Justin's there, if you've been in touch with Justin Tanner, but I just wanted to tell you a funny story, a funny St. Paul story.
We listen. Especially if it's some church tea.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody told you, but we, at Debbie Sampson's repair, we all got together, and there's a picture of all of the people that attended. It was at least 20 people from St. Paul
Yeah, for sure.
that came to support the Sampson family.
Yep.
And at the repast, we were in the dining room of her niece, and everybody started telling St. Paul stories. Everything from Reverend Neil with the candy every day.
Reverend Neil is the man with the candy.
Listen,
The man with the candy.
Listen.
Programs that I know all of you remember.
Yes.
And Justin all of a sudden started doing the Decalogue, and all of a sudden we were standing there holding hands just like we were right back. It was wonderful.
You know, it's easy to go back into old habits of St. Paul when you get around St. Paul family.
Yeah.
And that's why we're about to have a choir. We're about to have a selection. Just kidding. But it's nice.
So speaking of family, I have to say goodnight to my kids because they just texted me and they're like, "Mommy, here I am." So good night. Go to sleep. Thank you for being good kids for Daddy.
Good night. Good night to the next generation.
Yes.
And Rocky and Ashley, you both attend St. Paul now, correct?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And so why did you return to St. Paul?
Oh, because it's home. You know, I left Illinois. Oh, we have. Continue.
We're going to pick right back up. Thank you, Miss Miller, for calling in, being our
Bye.
surprise.
Good to talk to you.
Our surprise St. Paul caller. Hold on one second. Thank you. Dana being Dana.
Well, hello.
Well, hello, St. Paul mystery caller, technically number 4. How are you
I am wonderful. How are you?
doing? Fantastic. Can you give us your first clue?
I have known Dana since I was 3 years old.
Yes. I'm getting blanks there. I can't believe it. Clue number 2.
That's true. Right.
I was thinking.
Well, speaking of mountains, gonna move on up the mountain.
Gonna pull the devil down, because he doesn't have the right to be on a higher ground.
Is that Dr. Kim.
Dr. Kimberly Nicole Cross is calling in from Atlanta, Georgia. Kim has been my best friend growing up since she was 3, I think I was 2, 3, and 4. I remember Kim and I being 4 and 5, and we would read, what book would we read?
Oh, Charlotte's Web.
Boom! And we would read it over and over again, and we talked about being a lawyer and a doctor one day. And it's just so funny how we've both been through a lot, through our lives and all that, and that's what we turned out to be.
Yeah,
And
unbelievable.
and she is my soror. Right?
We love you anyway.
I'll accept you all.
God loves all.
But I'm very proud of Kim. She is near and dear to my heart, and it wouldn't be a St. Paul show for me without Kim, because we sang Move On Up the Mountain. That was our little solo together, which I always thought was so cool. And so Kim, tell us where, well, we know you're in Atlanta. Tell us what you're up to.
Well, I just moved here about a year and a half ago and started working with a private practice just right outside of Atlanta. And I'm catching babies.
Catching babies.
But I am forever, I would have had to call in regardless, but I have to say I'm indebted to St. Paul AME Church, and they have certainly made me who I am. I've literally grown up in the church my entire life, and I think the list would go kind of on and on and on if we could list all of the people who were mentors to us, who were mothers to us and fathers. My favorite memory, I would say, from St. Paul was the Christmas plays and the Easter plays. I think it really taught us how to, we put on production.
Yes, we did.
We had
Thanks to Miss Neal.
and Miss and Granny, as I called her, or Miss Clark, as every.
Gloria
Don't
Clark.
you better not bring a piece of paper up there.
You better learn to fart.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if it's stage fright or messing it up.
It's both.
For that, right?
But we were so focused on learning our part, but little did we know how those small little things would eventually kind of shape us into who we are. Those are, huge pieces in to being a professional. And so I have to tell you, they taught us kind of, if you're going to do it, you do it big.
Yes.
And I am forever grateful. I love you guys. I haven't seen all of y'all in this.
I know. You got to come back and visit St. Paul. We're still there.
Yeah.
And it's one thing, I think that's an early call. But I think, one thing I want to say is that, Nell Rice, which is Marcus's mom, was the queen of the production for the Easter and the Christmas.
Oh
Christmas
my God!
plays.
Yeah, she do those murals too, like the felt murals.
And so, shouts out to the Rice family, particularly.
We
Mrs.
were
Rice.
the original Chitlin Circuit. Before the Chitlin Circuit was a name.
Who definitely had us in formation. And so it was, but I think it's such a testament to the church and what we believed in, and just investing in youth. A lot of churches that I see and read about and think about and go visit talk about investing in the youth, right? But I see when you actually do it and live it, what the result is, and then how we all turned out, and how everybody went on to college and to do great things, and lawyers, doctors, business people, professionals, professors, and mentors and influencers in our own communities. And some of us have returned back to St. Paul, and I think that all of those things are so special. And that's one of the messages for today. And one of the things that I give thanks for is just being a part of such a community that not only instilled so many values in me, but gave me great connections of friendship and just the tools, I think, to go out and be who I am and influence other people.
Yeah.
To be a mentor, to be a parent, to be an influencer, to be a friend.
Yeah.
To be a Christian to other people. And I think examples of just being good people is what this world needs, is what we need to do more of. So, thank you so much, Mystery Caller Kim.
You're so welcome.
I appreciate you calling in. We've got another call. Thank you. Hold on. Dana being Dana.
Hey, Dana, it's Kareem. How are you?
The miller's just like,
Oh, you guys are just like, we're just kicking in the dough. Kick in the dough. Well, we do have another mystery caller calling right in, but how are you?
I'm all right. How are you guys?
We're good. Is it true you're 28?
Right.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're so glad that you've grown. Appreciate you calling in. Hold on.
Absolutely. You guys take care.
Thank you. Dana being Dana. Dana being Dana. Oh, we got all kinds of folks calling in.
Blown up.
Dana being Dana.
Is that Kareem again?
Hello.
Dana being Dana.
Hey.
It's like a party.
Hello. Is that a St. Paul? Are y'all at St. Paul? Hello?
It's like that.
Feedback.
Hello.
Turn the radio down. Turn your radio down.
Hi. Is this a scheduled mystery caller?
I really am.
How are you?
Good. Are we live?
We are live. Where are you calling from, mystery caller?
I'm watching. I don't see it. I see you all.
Mystery caller, where are you calling from?
I don't know if I have the technology correct.
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
I'm thinking yes.
Dana being Dana.
Hey, what's going
There we
on?
go. Hey, this is a real mystery caller number 5.
We're so popular.
How are
Everyone's
you?
calling.
I'm doing well.
Now that we are official, mystery caller number 5. Where? Give us your first clue, because I know where you are.
All right, so the first clue is that I actually wasn't born in Illinois. I was born in Edina, Minnesota, and my family moved to the north suburbs of Chicago when I was a young boy. So that's my first vague clue.
Very good. It's all kinds of crickets in here right now.
Good. That's what
Yeah.
I wanted it to be.
Clue number 2, official mystery caller number 5.
The second clue is that all of the members of my immediate family belong to a historically black Greek letter fraternity or
Justin
sorority.
Tanner.
I was gonna say that's gotta be Justin.
Justin Tanner, JT.
J Money.
What's up, big bro?
Yes, indeed. So, Justin, tell us where you are calling from, and particularly where the ladies of your family are members of. What sorority?
You know, we
Oh,
joined the
wow.
wrong frat. I do know that.
My father, who's a man of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, I am an Alpha chapter Omega Psi Phi
All right.
member, and my mother and sister are women of the illustrious Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority incorporated.
Again, God loves all.
Yes, indeed.
And I am
Tambourine hands.
currently in Atlanta, where both my mother, father, and sister live, and also I live here with my wife, Christina.
All right.
Can I tell you one of the most disappointing, frightening moments in my life?
Please.
I was in business school, and Justin Tanner calls me, and I think he was there. I went to business school in Boston at Harvard, and Justin was there looking at law schools, and he calls me, and he goes, and he's like, what did he say? Omega thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I used to babysit you. Like, are you an Omega and you're in graduated college? You're about to be a lawyer? Like, what is going on? I was just like, okay, I need to just go ahead and, apply for the AARP right now.
Oh man, but yeah, thank you. I'm not supposed to tell what I'm doing now, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I recently joined Verizon, the state and federal lobbyist. My boss currently oversees about 20 states, and I have 7 states, anything from Florida to Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, et cetera. And I negotiate and help, push the company's policies both at the state level and the federal level, and in the municipal level. But spent a couple years in the Obama administration prior to joining Verizon, and then before that, worked politically as an aide to the current mayor, who's term limited, the mayor of Atlanta, Christine Breeze. So, been in the political space and decided to kind of dovetail into the private sector. So, I'm enjoying myself. I've been at Verizon for about 9 weeks or so.
Verizon, Schmeisen. We are all Tanner for president one day. Justin is one of our more political St. Paul family members, and we are so excited to just follow your path and all the stuff that you're doing. We're so pleased that you and your new bride are in Atlanta, and we're just so happy. Thank you so much for calling in. You and the Tanners are like family to all of us.
Yeah.
People guessed that you may be calling in, and I just kept my Lady Gaga poker face.
No clues. Yeah.
I gave no clues. So tell us about your favorite memory of St. Paul, your favorite choir song.
Oh man!
Any requests? We've got some resident soloists on the panel.
So there are two. I'll give the general stuff and then a couple very specific. I think first and foremost, it was my spiritual foundation, a nurturing place where it was not only spiritual enriching for myself and my sister Kristen, but it was also culturally enriching as well. We grew up in, as many of the members of St. Paul did, in predominantly white areas, and so aside from groups like Jack and Jill, St. Paul was the only place where I even saw black people.
Right.
And so, from, other brother sister tandems, Michael and Nicole, Michael and Jessica Bailey, Marcus Marlon Rice, Timmy and Jenny Green. I mean, I can go on and on. Joseph. I mean, we just had extended family there. Obviously, can't forget Miss Clark in Sunday school classes and everything. My favorite song was actually Excellent, How Excellent.
How excellent.
And then the two specific examples, if you guys would bear with me, I think there were a couple things that a couple of our pastors used to say that to this day I can recite from memory. I think the first is when after the guests were kind of welcomed, Pastor Debbie would get up and say, "Greetings, St. Paul. I greet you this morning in the name of my Lord and Savior, who is Jesus. And I say to you this morning, God is love.
Because God is love, we ought to love one another.
That's the, so I remember that, and I remember Reverend Hill would say, in this big booming voice, from all that dwells
Below the skies, let the Creator's
praise arise.
It be so. Every night.
But I love each and every one of y'all in the studio. I was kind of looking at the player. Like I saw Marcus and a couple other folks. And Dana, thank you so much for doing this. My parents are listening right now. They were excited to jump on. And I know my sister's listening too. So keep doing what you're doing. We support you. We love you. And I can't wait to see you all again next time I come back to Chicago.
Thank you so much, Justin. I really appreciate it. And it's to come up with the show idea was pretty easy for me because so many of you are just my friends today, and our paths cross. Our kids play together. We hang out all the time, and to me it was just so natural. So I just want to thank everybody, and you can see I tried to cram as many St. Paulers as I could from all different walks of life, from all different age ranges, groups, geographical locations. So thank you so much. The St. Paul family has always been very supportive, and I just appreciate everybody tuning in, everybody sharing the show, sharing the video so that others can watch, because I really want the message of community and the message of family, particularly when it comes to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving for me is a holiday about family. Christmas, a lot of times people tend to buckle down with their immediate family, especially when you have children and you don't want to drag presents everywhere and all this other stuff, so people tend to stay home. But Thanksgiving is a place where you're having a meal, and it's not necessarily where you are, but it's who you're with. And you can be out in a restaurant, you can be at home, you can be in a vacation spot, but when you're with your family, you are celebrating Thanksgiving and you are giving thanks. And my St. Paul family is so huge to me, and so I just am so appreciative of all of you all being here, everybody just taking part and being a part of it. So I made a joke today about the building fund. Yeah. Does everybody remember the building? And when we moved, I showed both structures. When we moved from the original structure to the new space. So does anybody want to comment, some of their memories or times with respect to the old building versus the new?
It was hot.
Yes, you didn't have air conditioning. Yes.
I remember the transition. So we held church at Central School, and we all got to be in Home Alone 2, right?
Yeah.
They recorded Home Alone 2 at Central School, so we were all in the audience. I remember that transition too.
Auditorium.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That little church was.
But the little church was
that
hot.
was hot.
Yes.
And those ceiling fans, those were like a tease. The ceiling fans, they were on. I'm like, nothing's happening.
We have certainly come a long way since our days at St. Paul.
Yeah.
What do you want the audience to know? And there's people obviously who attended St. Paul. Thank you so much for tuning in. And then people who are just tuning into the show, fans of the show, people who follow Dana being Dana. What do you want the audience to know most about St. Paul, particularly folks who never attended St. Paul yet?
It's home. You feel like it's home right when you walk through the door, and when you leave, you go to another state. Wherever you go, you're always looking for home. But it's in Glencoe at St. Paul.
Home indeed. That's right. Thank you so much, Justin. I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you. It's so good to hear all y'all voices, and I cannot wait to see y'all again. Thank you so much, Dana.
Thank you.
See you, Justin.
Bye.
Last but not least, our final St. Paul mystery caller. Are you there?
I am there.
Yes,
Are
indeed.
you there?
I am here.
Great. How are you today?
I am so good. What is your first clue?
My first clue is that I came to Glencoe, Illinois in 1983.
Ooh, wait. Was a New Edition album out by then? I can't even remember.
That was a long time ago.
And many of us were very young. Was anybody not born in 83? We got. Sorry. What is clue number 2?
Clue number 2 is that I
Garrett Evangelical Theological Seminary.
All right.
I may not have been born, but I knew who that was.
Amen. Pastor Debbie,
wow.
Pastor Deborah, Pastor
Yay.
Debbie Williams,
Yes.
who was the pastor of our church when during this time that we're all talking about.
Right.
Wow.
She is our final caller. Thank you so much for calling in. And
I am so glad to be here, Dana. Thank you for.
it wouldn't be a show without you for
Right.
sure.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things I think is so remarkable about, and you, like, I was obviously young and all that when I was growing up in the church, but what I find is so remarkable, Pastor Debbie, tell everybody in the audience how old you were when you first were appointed to be the pastor of St. Paul AME Church in Glencoe. Are you there?
Glencoe, Illinois.
Yes.
And I'm
Wait.
going to tell you.
Say it again. Say it again. How old were you?
25.
25 years old. 25 years old.
Yes.
And you just, I mean, I felt like, I never thought that she was 25. You don't have good perspective on age,
Yeah.
obviously, when you're that age.
Right.
But just,
Ah, she had authority.
you were, right. Tim Green said you had authority.
Yeah, no
And it's true. I mean, you were such a phenomenal force. Your spirit, your energy, your delivery, I mean, it was just, you were moving mountains, giving people faith. People who were older than you, people who were younger than you were absolutely fantastic. What is your memory of St. Paul?
Oh my goodness, I have so many memories of St. Paul. It is ridiculous. All of the families, I can picture them. And when I saw all the pictures, you know, I've been watching online. I'm like, oh.
Thank you.
Oh, look, pictures are
Hello? Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I love the families and the individuals, and you know, I remember the marriages and the baptisms and the funerals and the family days and the youth choir and all of those solos you all were talking about.
We had so many memories, and I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling in. Before we go, there's something that's very special that I really want to do before we wrap. And there are people who are not able to join the show today because they have moved on, they have transitioned. And I didn't capture everybody, but Rocky and I got together and we tried to put together as many of the names that we could. And I wanted to just go through some of these names of the people from St. Paul who have transitioned into heaven and who are no longer here with us. So I just want to read these names before we close out. Thank you all so much for being here. Dorothy Wheeler, Gloria Clark, Emmett King, Jeff King, Reverend Harold Neal, Mrs. Helen Neal, Napoleon Gregory, a.k.a. the Tan Fox, Cornethia Gregory, Harold Shepard, Bill Rankin, Brooksy Rankin, Veltra Dawson, Gianna Williams, Albert Brown, that's my daddy, Willie Heron, L. Don Brown, Debbie Sampson, Eddie O'Kelly Jr., Laura Wilkins, and most recently, Terry Jackson. We love everybody from the St. Paul family. I thank you all for being here. I appreciate you, Pastor Debbie. Thank you all so much. I give thanks for all of you. I give thanks for St. Paul. And I give thanks for all of you all watching and tuning in. Thank you all so much for being a part of the show. Tune in 2 weeks, right after Thanksgiving, our next show, we're going to be talking about doctors. Have you ever had a question for a doctor? They will be here in studio. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Happy Thanksgiving, and thank you for tuning in to Dana Being Dana.
Amen.
Amen.